Today we are going to talk about the concept of incarnation in Christianity. The term is derived from the Latin caro or carnis, which means flesh. The idea is that God took on flesh or a human body through the person of Jesus the Christ. In the 4th century, an early church father and teacher, St. Athanasius, said, "For the Son of God became man so that we might become God." This, in brief, summarizes the incarnation. I paraphrase the quote for us: God became human so that we might become like God. And to be like God is to be holy. To try and illustrate this point, imagine God is that circle. And also note that the person below God represents humanity, that cartoon character. So metaphorically speaking, God swoops down to our level, to our world, swoops down to limited space and time, and carries or elevates us to be like God, elevates us to be holy. So in a sense, God becomes human, takes the form of humanity, and shows us how to be human, how to be truly human. And this is through Jesus the Christ, through Jesus' teachings, actions, so that we can share in God's life and we can become godlike or holy. In his letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul gives a similar analogy. "For you know the generous act of our Lord Jesus Christ, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, so that by his poverty you might become rich." So God, though rich, shared God's wealth and became poor so that we may become rich, so that we would be able to share in God's wealth. God shares the wealth by becoming human. So God is rich and humanity is poor. God becomes poor so that humanity can become rich. Also, if you recall the geese story, there was a man who tried to save a flock of geese from a snowstorm, but the geese would not follow the man because they were scared of him. They thought maybe he would eat them. So the man figured, well, if they wouldn't listen to a man, they would probably listen to a goose. And he figured, if only I were a goose, then I could save them. So he got one of his own geese from his barn and used that one goose to lead the other geese to safety in the barn. So in that summary, the man was like God, who had one of his own geese lead the other geese to safety, to the barn. Similar to how God became human to lead humans to safety, away from sin. And that, in brief, is the incarnation.